Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is William Heineman, your host, and this is Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job or they just really screw it up. Hey, guys, this one here is coming from Lackluster. Please go over to their channel, tell them I sent you, and check them out. If you would, subscribe to them and hit their bell, their like and share, because it helps their algorithms out. And while that's said, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I cannot explain to you guys how it feels to have 3,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd get here. It's amazing. Thank you guys so much for getting me there. I appreciate it. If you would, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, let you know I put out a video. Leave me a comment. I love your guys' comments. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. The like and share helps my algorithms, and thumbs up, thumbs down says how I'm doing for you guys. All right, so this one is 7 years old. It's been going on for 7 years. It's a joke at best. You have two sergeants who, A, don't know the law, B, don't know their job, have an IQ of less than 15, and it's just amazing. They don't know that you can film in public. They don't know that you can film public buildings. They don't know that you can film police. They don't know squat. Well, unfortunately, that's normal for police. Hang on one second. I apologize. I've been getting sick, and I guess at my age, it doesn't happen as fast as it used to. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, we'll make it through it. Hey, guys, if you would, like I said, please subscribe. Thank you very much for those who got me to 3,000. I appreciate it. Let's keep going. I don't understand, these cops want qualified immunity because they didn't know. Didn't know what? You can't be falsely charged, that you can film in public, that you can film public officials. This isn't, 4 years old. Okay, this is 7 years old. It's been around since 2011. Court cases on being able to film police, film public, public areas from public stuff like this. So, because these clowns don't know, it is freaking amazing. These are clowns that are supposed to be in charge. In charge of what? Morons? So you got morons in charge of morons. Wow, I don't get it. Anyway, guys, go over to Lackluster, tell them I said hi, and subscribe to them, hit their like and share, and here we go.
You got ID on you?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
We need ID.
We need ID.
Why would I have to give you my ID for performing illegal activity?
How do you know you're not planning on blowing up the building? Shooting up.
I mean, I have no ill will, if that's what you're asking.
You're not allowed to videotape the police station.
You most certainly can. Why would I have to give you my ID for performing illegal activity?
How do we know it's legal?
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. Today I have an update on a case that I first covered in 2021, but the actual incident occurred in 2018, when professional photographer Northeast Auditor videotaped the exterior of the Waterbury Police Department from the sidewalk. After filming for only 6 minutes, two sergeants, Matthew Benoit and Frank Leone, approached.
What are you taping?
Just getting footage.
Oh, it's like just from the building, or
Yeah.
any specific reason?
Just getting content for a story.
What kind of story?
Well, it's not published yet, so I'm not going to divulge what it is. What's your name and badge number?
Sergeant Frank Leon,
Thank you. What's your badge number?
738.
Thank you.
You got ID on you?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We need ID.
We need ID.
For a First Amendment protected activity?
Well, it's actually a security issue.
Security issue?
Yeah, you're videotaping the police station.
I'm a journalist getting content for a story.
Which is fine. So you have no problem in giving us.
Why would I have to give you my ID for performing illegal activity?
How do we know it's legal? How do we
I'm
know
on
you're
a,
not-
I'm on a,
how do we
I'm
know
on a
you're
public
not-
sidewalk.
How do we know you're not planning on blowing up the building?
How do you know you're not there to put blow up your head? What an idiot. You know, I don't understand why cops get away with this free bull crap. Well, I didn't know. I didn't understand. It's not for sure. I understand you have an IQ of 15, but God almighty, man.
Shooting.
I mean, I have no ill will, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. We didn't know that.
Well, that's the beauty of the Constitution. You don't need to know that, right? I'm filming in a public,
Okay, and we're legally asking you for your ID.
and that's a lawful order?
That is lawful.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to provide my ID.
Okay.
There's no reason I haven't performed any illegal acts. I'm on a public sidewalk, as you can see.
Yes, filming the police department.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be secure. We don't want people coming here and
This is
shooting
a
the place
public
up.
building.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that in there is very public.
It's a
secure
pub-
building. It's not
We
public.
own this building.
It's not a public building.
This is not a public building?
You can't go in and walk around. You can
In
go
the lobby?
front desk.
In the lobby?
Yeah, in the lobby.
Yeah.
You're allowed in the
This is a
lobby.
public building. I'm filming from the outside on a public space.
Not allowed to videotape the police.
He doesn't know that the building he works in is a public building and he's a sergeant. Is it the dumber you are, the faster you go up the ladder? And the smarter you are, the lower you have to stay on the ladder? Incredible.
You most certainly can.
No, you're not. Can't actually.
I'm 1,000% sure you can film anywhere outside. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
I am.
You're sure about that as well?
Yep.
Okay.
At this point of the interaction, keep in mind that these two sergeants swore an oath to the Constitution and are in leadership positions. In fact, each officer of the Waterbury Police Department must, by city ordinance, make an oath that in the very first sentence solemnly swears to support the Constitution of the United States.
Having been chosen candidates for the Waterbury Police Department and the departments that you represent, please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Like almost every
Now keep in mind, almost every department across the country has to do this. Sworn affirmation. Okay? But yet they have no clue what the hell they're talking about. Because they could care less. Now they have a badge, they have a gun, and they have what they assume to be the power.
every department in the US. The problem is that it is assumed that the officers know anything about the Constitution when swearing in, and in this case, it is evident that you do not need to be proficient in the basics of constitutional law to progress through the ranks. While it is true that many government buildings have areas that are restricted to members of the public, it is also concerning that these officers believe that the building does not belong to the public. And not only is it legal to film the exterior of the building from a public sidewalk, you can also view the building from the air and on Google Maps, and it is also 1000% lawful for the surrounding residents and businesses to have video cameras that capture the building's exterior 24/7. And now, because Northeast Auditor has not performed any illegal activities, he denies their requests to identify.
Well, I'm not going to provide my ID. I haven't performed any illegal activity. Can you articulate a crime I've committed, or
Reasonable suspicion.
of what crime?
Reasonable. I don't know if you're about to blow up the building, if you're setting.
Well, can you articulate a crime I've committed?
You're videotaping secure areas of the police.
That's not a crime. So I'm going to need you to let me know what crime I've committed.
Reasonable suspicion. You do not have to commit a crime.
Okay, am I being detained right now, or am I free to go?
Yes, you're
Okay, under what suspicion?
You do not have to commit the crime for us to hold you? Wow, really? You're an idiot, and you're a sergeant. What a moron.
Suspicion of what crime?
Reasonable suspicion. I don't know.
Are you
why
sure
you're
about
out here.
this?
I'm positive.
Okay.
So this is gonna go one of-
I would ask for a supervisor to come out at this point because. Okay.
Yes, that's
Well,
why we
well,
Provide identification or not.
I'm not providing any identification. I've done
Put your hands
nothing
behind
wrong.
your back. You're being detained.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna hold the camera.
Yeah, please don't turn it off. Thank you. I don't have my license on me, so.
After ending the recording, the officers took Northeast Auditor inside, where he was booked and charged with misdemeanor interference. He is then given conditions for his release and allowed to leave on his own recognizance, with a promise to appear at all upcoming court dates. The officers confiscated all of his belongings, except for a pay stub found in his pocket. A few months after his arrest, they agreed to return his property but withheld the SD card from his camera. It remained in their possession until May of 2021, when a new prosecutor was given the case and immediately dropped the charges, officially ending the case in Northeast Auditor's favor. To be perfectly clear, Northeast Auditor was arrested and maliciously prosecuted for 2.5 years, simply for recording a government building that is visible to anyone from a busy downtown street. A building that frequently appears in news coverage, yet mainstream media reporters are never jailed or dragged through court for filming it. Nearly 3 years after the encounter, in August of 2021, the ACLU filed a lawsuit on his behalf, citing violations of his First Amendment rights, unlawful seizure under the Fourth Amendment, and malicious prosecution. But by early 2025, nearly 7 years after the incident, the district court had still failed to make a decision on the case, and the parties filed cross motions for summary judgment, the officers asking for qualified immunity. If qualified immunity is granted, the lawsuit is dismissed, but you wouldn't need to be immune from something if you were innocent. Qualified immunity is most commonly an admission of guilt, with the excuse of being ignorant of the law, an excuse that is only granted by the government to other government employees to prevent them from being held personally liable for constitutional violations unless it was clearly established at the time of the incident. Take note that even today, federal courts have been split on whether the right to record the police is clearly established. For example, in 2009, the Fourth Circuit ruled that no clear precedent existed in the jurisdiction and refused to look at other circuits. Meanwhile, the First Circuit took a broader view in 2011, where the court relied on the First Amendment to say that the right was so obvious, even though no specific ruling had been made before. And in other circuits, like the Third and the Fifth, the court admitted that recording the police is protected by the First Amendment, but claimed that at the time it wasn't a clearly established right. Northeast Auditor's motion cited cases from the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 9th, 10th, and 11th Circuit that established the right to film police. The judge took note that even their own circuit had case precedent from 2011 that states that recording police activity is a clearly established right. However, in the judge's opinion, even after considering Turner v. Driver, which was based on nearly identical circumstances, he ruled that only the right to record police was clearly established, not the right to record a police station. At this point, you should know that the district courts are just a lily pad to the appellate courts, as they rarely deny qualified immunity, and civil rights cases almost always rule in favor of law enforcement at that level. And often, what we see is that the plaintiff gives up and no progress is ever made. And though we find ourselves there again, Northeast Auditor is now appealing to the Second Circuit. So stay tuned, and maybe whoever takes over my channel decades after I'm dead will be able to bring you news that this case was settled. In the meantime, let me know what you think of this hot garbage in the comments down below, and if you have a story that you want me to cover, or if you wish to blow the whistle, you can do so anonymously, using my form in the description. As always, if you liked this video, be sure to check out another one, linked on screen.
Okay, guys. So you have a moron judge, moron cops. I don't get it. He's just incredible. It gives me a headache. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Remember, always record the police because they're not your friends.